holding true. And the question is, just how long can these Democrats stay in Illinois? I heard someone say yesterday, well, eventually they're going to have to come back to Texas, which is a bowling for green, bowling for soup. Bowling Green is a college in the MAC. Bowling for soup song. They're going to eventually have to come back to Texas, and they're going to not get their way. And this will be a colossal waste of everyone's time. That includes the taxpayers of Texas, J.P. Pritzker, and whoever funded the private jet to and from Illinois. So it's all just a political, it's all for the attention. It's all for the spotlight. If the Democrat Party is good at one thing, they're good at being actors. And that's what this all is. It's just a show. It's just acting. They're not going to get their way, and they're going to pout about it. But, you look at states across America. I mean, they act like Texas is the only state that is looking to gerrymander their districts because of the way the state is run. But that's not true. I mean, there are states, Democrat-run states, that have no Republicans in Congress. Blue states with 0 Republican House seats. Massachusetts, Rhode Island. To be fair, Rhode Island, I believe, only has 2 seats. Vermont, which I believe also only has 2 seats. New Hampshire, Hawaii, New Mexico, Connecticut, Delaware. Delaware only has 1 seat. So, I mean, it is what it is. But those are full Democrat control. And again, I mean, look at the states like Massachusetts and Connecticut, these multi-district. I'm not going to point to Rhode Island and Delaware, right? I'm going to be fair. Those are 1 or 2 district states. I mean, you can only draw so many ways. But, I mean, Democrats do get as many Democratic seats out of their fully controlled states. I told you in New York. I mean, the governor wanted it even more ridiculous than it is now. Here in New York State, the Court of Appeal said, no, that's not constitutional. And then all of a sudden, the judges appointed get more and more liberal. So here's the thing. The Democrats, they're going to make a big show about it. They're going to waste everyone's time. They're going to waste taxpayer dollars in Texas. And at the end of the day, they're going to get they're going to get the districts that the Republicans want. So I don't know how long they're going to stay in Illinois. It'll be very interesting to see how long this charade goes on. Because if I was if I lived in a blue district, I would be like, what are you doing? This isn't democracy. You're not standing up for what you believe. You're getting out. You're trying to stop democracy. And again, I mean, Trump, is very popular in the state of Texas, which is funny, right? Because for my entire life, I have heard how Texas is going to be in play this year. We're looking at the numbers, and Texas is going to be in play. And it just never happens, right? Republicans win the Senate seats. The state has not gone purple like North Carolina. And I mean, again, it's getting more and more popular for Trump, even with the influx of people from California. And, you look at Florida as well. If we're talking about people who've moved down, the problem in New York State, where I live, is the people who are leaving tend to be more conservative. So, yeah, they're getting out. They're getting out of the disastrous policies that have ruined places like Niagara Falls, New York, one of the most embarrassing. I mean, you were given a gift. Right? Talk about how Democrats just their policies leading to destruction. They were given a gift called Niagara Falls. And let me tell you, it's run down. There's very little to do. You look across the falls to Canada and you go, oh my God, what's that beautiful place over there? It's sad. It's pathetic. It's decades of Democrat leadership. So yeah, conservatives leave New York, make it more blue, and go to a place like Florida. And that's why Florida went, with the help of Ron DeSantis, Florida went from a a swing state every presidential election to a solid red state. And that's what's going on in Texas. And you know what? Just like the solid blue states can do, when they want to draw up a map, they're going to get as many red districts, or the blue states are going to get as many blue districts. Again, look at Illinois. There's a district that looks like it's a river. You got to look and go, oh, that's not a river. That's a district. So, I would say, again, if it was someone in my district, stop crying, stop whining, stop trying to get the camera. I mean, there's a camera set up for CNN in the J.P. Pritzker Hotel, because every time I flip over there, it's their panel, right? They always have a panel, no matter what the show is, and they're talking to a Democratic legislator from Texas. They've talked to one conservative, obviously, and our friend Scott Jennings. It's been one Republican legislator from Texas and Scott Jennings. That's about the right-wing viewpoint, and Shermichael, that you're going to get on CNN. But they've had a camera set up in that hotel in Illinois. But at the end of the day, it's nothing but a waste of time and money, right? It's like Cory Booker. Cory Booker screamed on the Senate floor for 20-some hours, and Chuck Schumer congratulated him. Congratulated him for what? You didn't accomplish anything. Nothing got done. You wasted everybody's time. C-SPAN, the C-SPAN bill that day was higher than ever before because they had to remain live all through the night. So you're not accomplishing anything. And these Texas Democrats aren't accomplishing anything. And I can guarantee you that once this goes by, there's more important things when they get back in the session. But you know what? Be there, voice your displeasure on the floor, but be present. You're not representing your district states away, thousands of miles away. And by the way, I'd be saying the same thing if it was Republicans. You cannot represent your district from outside the state. And I'll be consistent on this. I'll say it for Democrats and I'll say it for Republicans. You want to represent your district, then you got to be in the Capitol. That's how you voice your displeasure and you voice your opinion. But the Democrats have turned politics into, well, they know they can get the cameras and they know the media will be on their side. So they are focused on getting the spotlight, making a big deal, right? Getting everyone to talk about it. But like I said, what's that going to gain you? At the end of the day, you're going to, what you're trying to push back against is actually going to happen. And you've wasted a ton of time and a ton of taxpayers' money. And again, whoever paid for that private jet, which I'm guessing somehow taxpayers paid for a little bit of it, right? It is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. We got a great show planned for you today. Brianna Lyman from The Federalist is going to be here. She's going to be talking about these Texas Democrats going to Illinois and the gerrymandering. We also have Cory Brewer. He is going to be talking about, she's going to be talking about her group just released some new help for parents who want to opt their children out of DEI classes in school. Very important stuff. And then later in the show, we'll be talking to Scott Fitzpatrick. He is the Missouri auditor. There's an audit of the St. Louis Public Schools. He'll tell us about that. And Jane Dueker, she is a local attorney, former candidate for Democratic nomination for St. Louis County Executive. And we're going to ask her the very important question of, what is the path of the Democratic Party? Because Elizabeth Warren says it's further left. Isn't that amazing? Hey, we weren't, the problem with New York City, we weren't liberal enough. And that's crazy if you've spent any time looking at the politics of New York City. We'll talk about all that and much, much more. It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got an accident on eastbound 6440 past Mason, and it's blocking the right lane. It's right there as you approach 270. So be careful in that area. There's a little bit of a slowdown. Now, 70 westbound looks fine out of downtown. It's slow at Wentzville. 64, some moderate volume, and that's mainly at Clayton Skaker. It's also slowing at 270. Southbound 270, slow pockets of moderate volume Olive through Doherty Ferry. And out west, 64, Some slow-moving traffic, mainly at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Now, if you're headed into Illinois, things look fine on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by Point with an E Pest Control. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Point Pest Control is reminding you it's time to spray for mosquitoes. How can something that tiny interrupt your outside gatherings? Have Point Pest Control spray today so your next outside gathering is mosquito-free. 636-798-0023. Mention Annie to save an additional 10%. PointPestControl.com.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
It's summertime, and that heat can play havoc on your plants and trees in your yard. Mark Cox here from my friends at Hanson's Tree Service. Give them a call. They will send a certified arborist to your yard to set up a plant healthcare strategy. They can help you with trees that might have a bug problem or a disease. Plus, they can deliver mulch directly to your driveway in most cases. Just go online to hansonstree.com or call them at 636-379-1830.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Tune in to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Mark Reardon, Sue Thomas. This is the Mark Reardon Show.
Welcome back. It is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon here on 97.1 FM Talk. And we bring in Brianna Lyman from The Federalist. Brianna, good afternoon.
How are you?
Doing all right. Keeping our eyes on these Democrats that have fled to Illinois. Obviously, I want to focus in on the spotlight now on Illinois. But it's been a few days now. Do we know who funded the $100,000 private jet?
Right now, not sure who's funding that. Who's funding I think it's $500 a day that they are supposed to be paying for essentially abandoning their constituents.
But don't get in your car and drive to get groceries. You have to walk to save the environment. But we can hop on this private jet.
Yeah, the hypocrisy is astounding from Democrats in all respects to this abandonment of their duties.
Now, you wrote in The Federalist about Texas Democrats as they're whining over gerrymandering. They ironically went to Illinois And just looking at the map of Illinois, it is it's humorous. I mean, it could be a comedy act just looking at the districts in Illinois.
Yeah, so Illinois has 17 congressional districts, and 14 of them are held by Democrats. Now, that would make sense if, maybe 75% of the state went blue. But it actually is that Democrats can't even meet a 60% popular vote threshold in Illinois. So it's not even close to why there should be 14 Democrat-held seats and only 3 Republicans. But the reason being is there used to be 5 Republican-held seats until, guess what? Democrats gerrymandered the state and lost 2 Republican seats. So for all their cries and screeching about democracy and, we need to make sure everybody has fair representation, they certainly don't mind the fact that Republicans are not fairly represented in Illinois, among many other Democratic states.
No, they don't. They don't want to look at Illinois. They don't want to look at New York State and hypocrite herself, Kathy Hochul. Now I did not know this. This is funny. I live in New York, and I didn't realize that some of these Democrats also went to Albany to meet with the governor. And New York itself. Hochul wanted it even worsely gerrymandered, but was pushed back by the courts.
Yeah. I also live in New York. And, back in 2014, I wasn't able to vote at this time, but New Yorkers had voted to pass the constitutional amendment, which created the Independent Redistricting Commission. So that is a bipartisan committee that is tasked with drawing new maps every year. And lo and behold, Democrats did not like the maps from the IRC last year because they didn't favor Democrats enough, clearly. So what did Democrats do? They scrapped the maps that New Yorkers voted 10 years ago to have drawn by this group of people and instead put forward their own Democrat-led maps. And then you go back 3 years and courts had to actually shoot down Democrats' mid-year redistricting proposal in 2022 because they were so skewed toward Democrats. But again, great place for Texan Democrats to flee to.
Yeah, for sure. And I love this quote from one of the members of the Texas House. We're not here to play political games. I think this is a great example of a political game. That's exactly what they're doing.
Right. And if they weren't, actually playing a political game, they would have gone to a different state, right? They wouldn't have gone to a state that is extremely gerrymandered. And the reason it shows their hypocrisy is because if they actually cared about gerrymandering, they would be opposed to any state, whether it's Republican or Democrat, that has gerrymandered districts. But it turns out that's not what they care about. They just care about trying to maintain any semblance of power.
And at the end of the day, this is all just a waste of time, a waste of money for whoever's paying for that private jet, a waste of money for JP Pritzker who's putting them up in his hotel. Because, regardless of how long they wait and don't represent their district, the gerrymandering is going to pass. Texas is going to get their way. They have full control.
Yeah, not only will Texas get their way, but I assume this is going to make its way up to the Supreme Court eventually because of these coalition districts. Under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, a lot of states thought they had to cobble together different minority groups to create that 50% threshold and therefore make, a minority-majority coalition district. And what the Fifth Circuit Court said is actually, no, that's not what Section 2 says. So now you have a bunch of people saying, well, what does that mean for my state? So I think this will probably get up to the Supreme Court, and Democrats are going to soon realize they're going to be out of a lot of seats because of the way they've been drawn.
Yeah. And, back to New York for a second. Again, the hypocrisy, not only with the gerrymandering, but New York is sitting on probably 2 extra congressional districts because of all the illegals that Kathy Hochul has let in.
Oh, yeah. Same with California. Gavin Newsom has spent the past 48 hours tweeting nonstop about this. And it's like your state has so many illegal aliens that you've skewed the apportionment, not only for congressional seats, but the Electoral College. And so if Democrats want to talk about making this an even fair playing field, I agree. Let's have the conversation. Let's start with getting rid of illegal aliens in the census.
Yeah, it would be, to me, that's just common sense. But obviously, Democrats, they're going to push the other way. They don't, not only do they want the illegals there, by the way, some that were housed in a hotel right behind the studio I'm broadcasting from, but they want them to be able to vote. Let's be honest, that's the next move.
Absolutely. Yvette Clarke, who is a Democratic rep, she said it, I think it was 2021, that she needs more migrants, illegal aliens in her district because it helps with redistricting purposes. So they know exactly what they're doing. So when people say, well, illegal aliens aren't voting, maybe they're not voting in large numbers, but they're certainly skewing the election outcomes by taking fair representation away from Americans who are living in districts that are small but fully comprised of American citizens.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these Democrats, I'm telling you, just from a New York point of view, I mean, it seems like some Democrats, they care more about the illegal immigrants. Let's make sure there's $2.5 billion in the budget for them than they do, the hardworking, everyday, average citizen.
Yeah, and I would contend it's not that they care specifically about the illegal aliens and, their needs. They just care about what they can use the illegal aliens for. And like we said, apportionment, electoral college, and even potentially down the line, if, amnesty is given to these folks, future voters.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta ask you, keeping your eye on this situation, what do you have an over or under of how many days these Texas Democrats will stay out of Texas?
I'm going to go with next Tuesday because I think with Paxton and Abbott taking a harder stance today, they're going to have a few days to either shape up or ship out, and I think they're going to make that decision. It's a costly move what they're doing.
Is Tuesday the deadline? What's the next benchmark in the from the governor?
I'm not sure what the next benchmark is from the governor. My personal deadline is Tuesday, just because I think they'll let the media ride out for the rest of the week, and then Monday the fanfare will stop, and they'll be back by Tuesday.
I got to ask you something. Since you said you were in New York, I got to ask you this question. Kathy Hochul, she's Buffalo's own, and she's being primaried by her lieutenant governor. Why aren't we hearing any more about that?
I actually wondered the exact same thing. I think they're trying to deflect from infighting within the Democratic Party and try to turn their attention to just Republican versus Democrat, when the fact remains a lieutenant governor challenging the governor is probably more of a closer battle and harder won battle for Hochul.
Yeah, it's, Kathy Hochul, she's been embarrassing Western New York for my lifetime. I've been around for 37 years. So for 37 years, she's been embarrassing Western New York. And, can't go talk to New York without Mamdani. Do you think Adams or Cuomo will put their ego aside and actually step out of this race? Or is Mamdani just going to walk through the finish line?
I think if they want to distinguish themselves as a statesman versus a politician, then one of them, and I think it should be Adams, should step aside, because at the end of the day, this is about New York City. And if they claim to love New York City as much as they do, and this isn't about just having power, they should work together and figure out who's dropping out and what are we doing to get voters to turn out.
Never would I think that I would say something like, wow, it would be better if Cuomo won. Not that it would be great. I just said better. I don't want my words to be taken out of context. I said better, not great.
Unfortunately, the lesser of two evils.
Hey, Brianna, great talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
That is Brianna Lyman from The Federalist. You can read her current piece there on this, the Texas Democrats fleeing to Illinois, where gerrymandering is king. And again, if you look at that map of Illinois, it is the district that looks like a river. I'm telling you, it's laughable. It's Carrot Top could use that in one of his stand-up gigs over at the Lux. When we come back, we're talking with Cory Brewer. It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got a stall reported eastbound 6440 past Winghaven. Watch for that on the right side. And there were some emergency vehicles northbound 270 past Page. That one also on the right side. But mainly right now, it's moderate volume. Northbound 170 headed for 70. Southbound slow pockets between Olive and Doherty Ferry. And we look great. If you're headed into Illinois, no delays on the bridges downtown. Out west, some volume westbound 70. Highway A through Wentzville, and some moderate volume westbound 64. Mainly at just Lake St. Louis Boulevard, and then it looks better. This report is brought to you by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Well, your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking it for granted? Is it screeching or whining? For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 or schedule online, overheaddoorstlewis.com. I'm Sue Thomas. That's Traffic 97.1 FM Talk.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, August 5th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired? Do you have your personalized income plan in place? Would you like to learn why linking to the market is much safer than owning the market, and how in 39 years we have never lost a penny of our clients' money?
Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your market gains every year without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, August 5th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need, while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The time is 3:31. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
Freedom has a frequency. 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back. It is Joe Weaver in for Mark Reardon here on 97.1 FM Talk. For those watching on the video, I had to go with the hat. I needed to cut my hair like a week ago. But, you get busy. Next thing you know, your hair looks even worse. I was told the older I get, the less my hair will grow. Not that I want to lose my hair, but I'm finding my hair to grow just as it did 15 years ago. Anyway, that's a discussion for later in the show. We are joined this segment by Cory Brewer, Education Counsel for the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, WILL. Cory, welcome to the show.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for having me.
So you guys released a new model for parents and schools. I'm sorry, parents and students to deal with schools. This following the Muhammad Taylor case. So tell us what the objective is heading into the 2025 school year.
Yes, we did just yesterday. We have a template opt-out form for parents to customize, and we have a notice template for teachers, a model school board policy. And the goal of all of this is to help with compliance with this brand new United States Supreme Court precedent. If you've been following parents' rights from a legal perspective, they go all the way back to 1925, a case called Pierce versus Society of Sisters. And just this summer, at the end of June, actually, the court reaffirmed that parents have a right to direct the religious upbringing of their children, and that right follows the children even into a public school classroom. So if parents have religious objections, they may opt out for religious reasons of certain controversial content for their children.
So I mean, this is letting the parents, right? This decision, letting the parents have a little bit, as you said, control over what their kids are seeing. Because for the last, I would say 5-6 years, minus the time kids were learning on Zoom during the pandemic, a lot of parents had no idea just how what's the word I'm looking for? Indoctrinated their children were getting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And this case originated in a part of Maryland where it's one of the most religiously diverse parts of the country. So ultimately the school board was honoring opt-out requests. And then they decided that they weren't going to do that anymore. And they weren't even going to give parents notice of when these controversial topics were taught in the classroom. And you had parents from all different religious backgrounds, Jewish, Muslim, Catholic, Christian. They all came together and said, wait, we as parents actually, we have First Amendment free exercise rights. We have constitutional rights as parents to raise our children how we believe they should be raised, including their religious upbringing. And you public school, are taking that right away from us. You are violating our constitutional rights. And the court agreed. So now this decision applies in every state. If a parent has a religious reason for wanting to opt out of certain content, in the Mahmoud versus Taylor case, it was LGBTQ storybooks read to very young children. But really, this applies beyond that. If there is sexually explicit content, if there is content that teaches individuals have a privilege or are different because of their race inherently, it could apply to any of that. And our template letter on our website for parents includes a variety of those different categories.
What's some of the stuff that you guys have heard of or seen that students are seeing that parents might have no idea is being brought to them in the classroom?
Yeah, thank you. I'll give two quick examples, and one actually comes from the Mahmoud versus Taylor case. And some people might say, oh, well, these were just books being read to children. What's the big deal? But the teachers in that case were actually trained to silence dissent, and they had to undergo professional development training. So if a child, for example, would say, hey, Mrs. Smith, I don't really think that a boy can be a girl. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Can you tell me more about that? I don't think that's right. The teachers were trained to say, that's hurtful. That's a hurtful comment, and really shut down any dissent. Another example, and this is another thing that's going on all around the country. It's not exactly what the case was about, but we're seeing it in schools all over the country, are these gender secrecy policies, where if a child wishes to transition to another gender, even socially, so changing just the name and pronouns and the gender that they go by at school, many schools, if a parent does not want that to happen, or even without telling the parent at all, will allow that minor child to transition to the other gender while they're in school. And while that's not what the case was about, it's hard to see if the court said, yes, it violates parents' religious rights to not be able to opt out of religious classroom instruction. It's hard to see that a court would allow these gender secrecy policies, especially for families with religious objections.
Yeah, to me that because I've heard of that in the local districts where I'm broadcasting from in Buffalo, New York. Where kids could, at school they change their name, they are identifying as different gender, and I'm sorry if my fourth grader is doing that. I think it's the school's job to let me know what my child's doing so I can have, as the parent, a conversation with them.
Right. And I think the majority of parents do feel that way. They want to be involved, and parents ultimately are the individuals that have their child's best interests at heart. Of course, there might be some really terrible, tragic situations out there. I don't want to discount that. But more often than not, almost all of the time, the parents have their child's best interests at heart. And for a government entity like a public school to shut parents out of that conversation, and then in some instances, even totally go against their wishes or deceive them when they're around, not only is that, I think, inappropriate and immoral, but we at Will believe that violates parents' constitutional rights.
Now, for the opt-out letter, is that something you send with your child on the first day of class?
You can send it at any time if you're a parent. So all you have to do if you want to use our version or take a look at it, it's will-law.org/parents. And it is a customizable letter. You can insert your child's name, grade, and then according to your religious beliefs, which categories of instruction would you like to opt your child out of? And all that will do then is generate a form that you can download and either print, send it to your child's school, or send it to them in an email, and just send them that request. Be proactive. And I would ask for a response too, confirm that they received it, and hopefully they honor it. If they don't, talk to a lawyer, contact someone like us at Will, and let us know.
I love what you guys are doing, but a lot of this the stuff that I've heard about, you said the case that went to the Supreme Court and some of the other stuff, I feel we shouldn't need a letter. We should just not be teaching these things. I mean, kids should be going to school to teach the basics that, I learned in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like, this shouldn't even be in the curriculum.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. I think a lot of parents agree with you, and grandparents across the country too that are following this. And one of the things that we will be watching for is if we get parents around the country opting out of this controversial, objectionable content based on their religious beliefs, will schools then decide not to infuse it in every... I mean, we're seeing some of these schools that are talking about LGBTQ, what has been known as critical race theory, or teaching that individuals should be treated different or have inherent privilege based on the color of their skin, handing out resources based on the color of their skin. Are we going to still see this in English, in math, in classes where parents would be surprised to see that this content is making its way into the classroom? Or are schools going to maybe, hopefully, understand that, hey, we want our children to know how to read and do math, and we would love to see children be able to write proficiently and get back to some of those basics, civic education. These are the things that we want to set them up for success when they're done with school. And a lot of parents, a lot of grandparents would love to see schools getting back to that. I hope this Mahmoud versus Taylor case, this new precedent from the United States Supreme Court, is going to be a big step in the right direction for seeing those things, but we'll have to kind of watch and see how it plays out.
And like I said, I love what you guys are doing. I love the tools that you have put together for teachers and for parents. But this. I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative, but you have a template of notice letter for teachers. I just feel the teachers who are teaching this kind of stuff, they're not going to follow any kind of protocol, because they want to teach their opinion, their way of life as fact and as everyone should follow.
That's possible. This is why I really think parents need to be the ones to be proactive. Of course, teachers, I think if they want to respect parents' constitutional rights, and not only that, but also limit any risk of liability now that we have this new precedent, they should err on the side of transparency and err on the side of giving parents notice when these controversial topics will be taught in the classroom. As you said, Joe, some of them are not going to do that, and that's just the way it is. We know that that's the reality. But if parents get out ahead of this and request an opt-out, that I think is their best tool right now, and the law is on their side, especially for religious parents. And then, as I mentioned, if it's not honored, talk to a lawyer, because this new precedent applies in any state, and parents have this robust opt-out right, because the language that the court used was that parents have a right to direct the upbringing of their child, and that includes the religious upbringing of their child. And some of this classroom content can undermine their ability to do that. So we really, really hope to see schools comply, but we will have to see what happens.
For sure. Hey, Cory, you guys keep up the good work, and I hope everyone goes and takes advantage of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is Cory Brewer, the education counsel for the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, or WILL. And as she said, you want these templates, go to will-law.org/parents. They've put it all together. All you have to do is, put your student's name and sign it. But great work, great stuff. And, like I said, I don't think this stuff should be this controversial stuff should be even brought into the classroom. Kids are there to socialize with their peers and to learn. It's sad that we've gotten to this point, but I hope everyone takes advantage of this, sends that letter with their student when this controversial stuff is in the curriculum. It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. We'll be back after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Watch out for an accident westbound 70 past 141. This thing started in the center lanes, and they're trying to get organized and kind of get it off to the shoulder. But right now, it's right there on the approach to the bridge in the middle. So expect a jam that goes back through 270. And that's also causing some slow-moving traffic on southbound 270 at 70. Let's see, 70 out west, some moderate volume in the Wentzville area. Southbound 270, moderate volume approaching Olive down through Doherty Ferry. And westbound 40, still a little slow, approaching Hampton out through McCausland. If you're headed into Illinois, we look great there. This report is brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they've been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. From windows and siding to kitchens, baths, and outdoor spaces, they deliver quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk.
A Midwestern mom from Edwardsville, Illinois, rooted in faith, grounded in family. Annie Fry brings common sense and conviction to the conversation. The Annie Fry Show, weekdays at noon on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents. New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is available through Medicaid. And with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Trucking accidents can change your life in an instant. The injuries, the bills, the stress. It's overwhelming. That's why you need a legal team that understands what you're going through and knows how to fight for what you deserve. At Kaufman Townsley, we've helped real people in St. Louis get real results after serious truck crashes. We know the roads, we know the law, and we know how to win. Kaufman Townsley, real people, real results. Call 314-500-5000. That's 314-500-5000.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Fast-paced, fact-based, and never boring. This is the Mark Reardon Show.
Hey, welcome back. Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon here on 97.1 FM Talk. I don't know what I was about to say there. Happy to be with you on this Tuesday. You know, I wasn't going to mention this, but I just got I just got a letter from a listener of my show here in Buffalo. So I know in St. Louis, you guys have the St. Louis. Oh my gosh, is it the Times Dispatch, Post Dispatch?
The Post Dispatch.
Post Dispatch, owned by the same individuals that own the Buffalo News, Lee Enterprises. And Lee Enterprises has just raised the price of the Buffalo News, and they're blaming tariffs for the increase of the price of the paper. Now, I'm sure a big city like St. Louis, your newspaper has a lot more pages. Our paper has become a 6-page insert that they don't even print in Buffalo anymore. They print it in Cleveland. They shut down the press here in Buffalo. It's sitting empty. They're hoping to put a soccer stadium there, but that's gotten shot down a few times. And now they're going to raise it even more. I mean, just paying for yesterday's news, if you're lucky, most likely news that was big 2 days ago. I don't know. I don't know what the status of the paper is. I just know the company. And I mean, here you're paying an increased price for a paper that leans one way. I mean, it's a paper that their media guy has taken shots at me a couple times now. And I mean, again, it's old news.
It feels like a deja vu, because I feel like we've had this same conversation multiple times with Mark about the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the increased prices. They don't print here in St. Louis anymore. Columbia, Missouri. So that's probably an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Home of Mizzou.
Yeah, the Mizzou Tigers. So it's funny you mentioned that, because a lot of similar stuff is happening right here in St. Louis as we speak.
Wow. It's sad because, my first ever job was delivering, back when there were paper boys. I delivered the Buffalo News. That was my first paycheck. And when I delivered it, that's when Buffalo had two. They had the morning edition and the evening edition. I would deliver the evening edition after school, and almost everyone on the street got the paper. And if they didn't get the weekly paper, everyone got the Sunday paper. It was this huge, it had coupons. It was a huge paper. I'd put it to everything but the updated versions. They would give you the inserts the night before, and it would just be spread over my parents' dining room and living room, all put together, ready for just the top paper to be put on it Sunday morning. And now, I mean, they have less than 35,000 subscribers in Buffalo, and they have maybe 20,000 digital subscribers. But it's sad. It's sad. And again, it's one way. You look at the viewpoints. There's no opposing viewpoint. It is it's a liberal mindset in the viewpoint section. We have a cartoonist here. I don't know if you guys saw this story. He drew a despicable cartoon about the floods in Texas. Pretty much, blaming it on people who voted for Trump and saying, well, they voted for it. That's what they get. And of course, the Buffalo News stood by him. They didn't get rid of him. And this is not the first time he's drawn something despicable, a political cartoonist in 2025. So you know what? You made your bed. And that is surprising. They also don't print the paper in St. Louis, because I thought Buffalo was just getting the small town treatment, driving it from Cleveland.
Nope. Same here. Wow. And they're cutting costs. And I get the online version because, of this job. But you can call. Here's what I've found out. You could call and say, yeah, I'm not doing that price increase. I'm going to cancel. And then they'll say, oh, you know what? We'll give you a better price. So you might want to try that in Buffalo.
That's a smart way to go, because what's worse is, losing your subscriber base, which they do. Now, again, like I said, I also have, a rift with them, because I've been on the air here for 8 years, and there's been 4 articles. One article, now this is a pride moment of mine, in the Sunday paper. And this tells you how far they've fallen off. Like I said, when I delivered the paper, every house got the Sunday paper. I was featured on the local page in the Sunday paper about 2 months ago over a tweet that I put out. That was newsworthy of printing in the Buffalo News. A stupid tweet I put out to our county executive, and the media guy, who was my professor in school, wrote an article about how I didn't know what I was talking about. The best part about that article is he admitted that we get more listeners than they could ever dream of getting readers. Indirectly, wow. He admits that in the piece.
Good times.
Yeah. So, but that was in the Sunday paper. Now, again, If that was in the Sunday paper 15 years ago, my phone would have lit up. The only reason I knew that existed is because my wife's boss the next day at work referenced the article her husband was in. And my wife texted me, goes, "Did you know you were in the paper? Did you know you were in the paper yesterday?" I said, "No, I had no idea. No one at work told me. I'd been at work all day. No one here told me. It was her boss who had seen my name in the paper and told her."
Jeez.
So, you know what? I mean, when they moved it out to Cleveland, I think it was we knew it was only a matter of time. But now trying to blame tariffs for another increase for less news. Again, our paper here, it's mostly you have like 4 local writers. Everything else is the New York Times, the Washington Post, and we all know how that leans. So I saw that come across my screen. Someone emailing me about the email they had gotten earlier, and that's why I say radio. You know, as time goes on, what is always still here? It's always been radio. Since the invention of the radio. TV was going to ruin radio. Didn't happen. The internet's going to ruin radio. Nuh-uh. We have always been here and will always be here because we can be in your car. We can be on your smart speaker. We can be on your phone. And I truly believe this is the best media and the best way to communicate. And it does go through time. I mean, we adjust to the technology and we'll always be here. And for that, I am forever grateful, and I'm so happy to be able to be on a media like this where you have the freedom to give your opinions, you have the freedom to speak your mind, and again, if something breaks, we can bring it right into you. You don't have to wait 2 days for the newspaper. So, interesting stuff going along tonight. Hard Knocks premieres on HBO. I know we talked about it a little bit last week. Hard Knocks premieres, the Buffalo Bills being featured, and that is my evening plan. I'm going to go home, put my son to bed, and make myself a sub and sit in front of the TV. And like I said yesterday, I'm not a big preseason fan. I don't usually follow training camp or any of this stuff, but I'm excited to see the spotlight on the Queen City here in Buffalo. And that is one thing I am looking forward to.
It's fun. It's fun when they give it to good teams too. Because
exactly.
There's been way too many seasons in the past where it's given to a team that just feels totally irrelevant. Excuse me. It's nice seeing a team the caliber of the Bills, who a lot of people are, as picking as their favorites for the Super Bowl this year. It's nice to see them following a team that's going to be a legitimate contender.
I just hope it's not a distraction as they get ready for this season, and looking forward to it. When we come back after the news here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
There is an accident westbound 70 on the approach to the Blanchette Bridge, and they've got the center lane blocked. Now, they're trying to get this cleared, but in the meantime, we have a parking lot jam that goes back past 270. And north and southbound 270 drivers are jammed trying to exit onto westbound 70. Take 364 if you can. It's wide open. And 64 just have some moderate volume here and there. It's not bad. Southbound 55 slowing at Bates. We've got some volume eastbound on 70 coming off the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge. And southbound 270, some moderate volume in pockets approaching Olive down through Doherty Ferry. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and unnegotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. They're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
97.1 FM Talk presents Talk in Action, where we shine a spotlight on local charities making a difference in our community. Join us as we give back and connect neighbors in need. Visit 971talk.com/talkinaction to learn more. KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Go get them. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Texas Senate Republican John Cornyn is asking the FBI to help find and arrest dozens of Texas Democrats who fled the state to prevent a vote on a new, more Republican-heavy congressional map. The second day with not enough members present to hold a vote. Texas House Speaker Dustin Burrows on Fox.
We have very important things on the call, including taking care of flood victims, flood relief, property taxes, and yes, redistricting. Our Democrat colleagues should be there.
The majority of those Democrats are in Illinois. That state's Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Donald Trump is a cheater. So is Governor Greg Abbott. And Texas Republicans are carrying out their will.
The goal of the new maps is to create 5 seats easier for Republicans to win. The House Oversight Committee issues subpoenas to force depositions about Jeffrey Epstein from Bill and Hillary Clinton and 7 former top Justice Department officials. Another subpoena gives the Justice Department 2 weeks to provide Epstein records. Federal judges, meantime, are still considering whether to release grand jury transcripts. That's a request from the DOJ, but it's opposed by imprisoned accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell.
Her lawyers arguing this would harm her legal rights, explaining Epstein is dead, Maxwell is not, and public interest cannot justify a broad intrusion into grand jury secrecy in a case where the defendant is alive. Her legal options are viable, and her due process rights remain.
It's Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Quadruple murder suspect Austin Drummond's captured after a week-long manhunt in Tennessee, spotted in the woods near a vacant building where he'd been staying, police say.
His arrest is a significant step toward the ongoing investigation, and we are grateful of the outcome. I want to thank the local, state, and federal agencies that made this happen.
Lake County, Tennessee Sheriff Brian Avery. Drummond suspected of killing 4 members of his girlfriend's family, taking a baby he later abandoned in someone's front yard. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Partly sunny skies for our Tuesday afternoon, and temperatures still pretty nice for August. 86. Nice evening tonight, clear skies, 69 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny, it's warmer. Wednesday afternoon, we'll start to feel it 88. Thursday, summertime, but nothing extreme. Sunny, hot, and humid, 91. 93 for the high Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said, call Cherry Kelly, man, CherryKelly.com. Give him a call, even though it's late, CherryKelly.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine. You could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200. And always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Beamer in for Mark Reardon. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. It's always just a blast to be here with you, and really, really appreciate everyone tuning in, everyone listening. And now Ethan is here, and Ethan, you had some issues at a car wash, I understand.
You know, I was absolutely flabbergasted the other day when I went to there's a car wash right across the street from my apartment complex. And I was like, all right, I'm going to stop in real quick. It just, you just one of those, you just drive on through and it does it all for you. Right. And I get up to the entrance. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Good. Blah, blah, blah. Which car wash would you like to select? And I just said, I just want the simplest one. It's $10. They start getting up from there. And he says, the guy at the window says, okay, I just have to tell you, it doesn't guarantee that it's going to completely clean your car. And what? I sat there and I just said, like, okay, whatever. I don't even care. But as I'm sitting there going through the car wash, I'm processing this, saying to myself, What? How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
I paid $10 to get my car washed, and now because it's the cheapest option, it doesn't guarantee it doesn't guarantee the service that they provide.
Is this like the lowbrow, lazy guy way of trying to upsell you?
Oh, it had to have been.
Right?
It had to have been.
And he just worded it poorly.
Maybe. Now they've never. This is, like I said, because it's right across the street. This is where I go. I don't know, probably once a month to get my car washed. And they've never said this before, so I don't know if this is a new thing or if they're saying this now, or if it's just this one guy trying to get me to spend a few more dollars. Yeah. But I could not believe
that's hilarious.
Why would a random guy say this if he was not being told by his company to tell this to people?
How old was this person?
Oh, I mean,
give me a decade.
He was. Oh, it was in the same decade as me.
Yeah,
sure.
That's your answer. This is the lazy man's upsell. He didn't know how to get you to the elite level.
It's not commission though.
He's just saying, well, how do we know? Do we know?
We don't know.
I don't
for
actually
sure,
know
but
the answer to that.
I would assume that it's not commission.
Well, he's just trying to shame you for getting the cheap stuff. By the way, sir, this isn't going to clean. Yeah, that's a good question. Is it clean?
I had to work a little extra hard with the drying towels to get a couple of spots off. I mean, it was fine, but
that's how it has at any level, right?
That's what you would think. I just am amazed.
That's sad. You might want to call.
$10 for a car wash. I understand. Now today, I guess depending on where you go, that's probably pretty normal. But I mean, It's not like I'm spending just a couple of bucks here.
Right.
This is $10.
Fred, would you ever say that? No. I would never say that. There's no way that is a company policy.
If someone said that to you guys, any of you guys, how would you react?
That would be like your doctor saying, for an extra $20, I'll look at another test for you.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee.
That's right.
Yeah. No guarantee.
I could not believe that.
That's
this was said
really
to me.
bad.
And I was like, this is one of the few times where I feel like I have a radio topic that just fell into my lap. So I was excited to bring it to you guys. That was the best part of all of it.
And I feel like $10 is enough any way you go about it.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember when the cheapest option on the car wash was $5, and so when I see 10, I gotta make sure my car is getting clean. But now you've got these people. Now I don't know. Is this? I'm guessing this is big everywhere, where people get the monthly pass to the car wash.
I bet.
I think Mark Reardon does that.
Yeah.
You get the little sticker on your windshield.
I have one of those.
But I do it in the winter because we have to get the salt off the car.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
Makes sense.
But like I said, I mean, Ethan goes to the one where it moves your car. I don't even do that. I go the gas station garage car wash where you put it there and the machine moves around your car.
Yep.
I find that's the best deal of the car wash.
I can't believe. And so your car was mostly clean for $10.
I mean, it was it was fine. I mean, it was fine, I guess. But I mean, here's the thing. You guys are gonna think this is gross, but so there was a couple of little random spots, and I was like, I'm here detailing my car, right? I got the towels. I'm like, screw this.
Spit clean.
I spit on my car and I used the towel to scrub it.
You have to do that
multiple
sometimes.
spots.
Yeah,
I had never done that before, and I kind of looked around like, is anyone looking at me?
Maybe that's what you would have got if you upgraded.
Yeah, the elite level.
They would have walked up.
What are some of the extra stuff they'll put on the car? That's what I want. I mean, do you pay for like something that will make it shine more? Like, what's the extra soap?
There's sometimes there's like the rainbow package where there's different colors and they have different chemicals that clean it.
They'll do wax and they'll do like an undercarriage blast. The higher you go,
because that's the part of my car that I want to be clean. The part no one can see.
Tire shine. I've never had MVP. That's above me, but I think they do like tire shine and the wax and something else. And the underblast or whatever they call it.
Yeah, they said it also doesn't give you we don't clean your hubcaps for you, right? Well, I was fine with that. I don't care about that. But you can't guarantee it's going to clean the. It just amazed me.
Yeah,
couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, some of those packages are way too rich for my blood. When we come back, we'll check in with Sue here on 97.1.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
The accident we had earlier on westbound 70 on the approach to the Blanchette Bridge appears to have just been cleared, which is great news. But we do have a jam behind it that goes back not quite to Lindbergh. And there was an accident, and then this jam happened already on westbound 70. So northbound 270, a parking lot from Page on up. That is the worst of it this afternoon. We have 55 slowing at Bates. We have 64 westbound slowing at Kings Highway. At southbound 270, there's some moderate volume there south of Olive, and that goes down pretty much. Yeah, it looks like it's Doherty Ferry. This report brought to you by Siding Express. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, they specialize in James Hardie siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. Sidingexpress.com. I'm Sue Thomas. That's Traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, August 5th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired? Do you have your personalized income plan in place? Would you like to learn why linking to the market is much safer than owning the market, and how in 39 years we have never lost a penny of our clients' money?
Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your market gains every year without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, August 5th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella Window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters.
Skip the drive-through line. Your favorite Prairie Farms Coffee House flavors are ready anytime with single-serve barista-style iced coffees. Enjoy the smooth and creamy ice-cold flavors of mocha or caramel blended with real milk and Arabica coffee. Each single-serve bottle is just the right size for sipping on the go or listening to Cardinals baseball at home. Find great flavors of Prairie Farms iced coffees at your favorite retailer. Visit prairiefarms.com for recipes and coupons. Drink local with Prairie Farms.
Hey friends, I'm Sharon McMahon, host of Here's Where It Gets Interesting. Each week I speak with authors, experts, and thought leaders on everything from American history and democracy to how to be a better person on the internet. And don't miss my extremely popular docuseries, which educate you on things you never learned in history class. Follow and listen to Here's Where It Gets Interesting on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Mark Reardon Show, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, welcome back. It is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon, and it's time for Sue's News.
These allegations are deeply concerning.
Does the president have any comment?
We're not going to comment.
It's not clear messaging.
No.
And now, Sue's News. Brought to you by Sue.
Good news. It's National Like a Dog Day.
Oh,
Isn't that
good.
sweet?
Yeah.
National
It's a day
Underwear
that was
Day.
made for you, Sue.
Yeah, it kind of is. I do like a dog. It's also National Underwear Day and National Oyster Day. I'm not going to be eating an oyster. I'd rather like a dog. Fred, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pro dog, pro underwear, anti-oyster.
I'll back him on both of those. all three
Yes.
of those things.
Joe Beamer, do you eat oysters? I mean,
I sure do.
You like them raw, do you?
I do. I like all three things you just mentioned. This is a great day.
The raw. Do you open your throat and just let? I mean, what's happening there? Do you actually taste that?
A little lemon.
Okay.
Delicious.
All right. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Ethan. On this day in history, in 2017, former Rams quarterback Kurt Warner was inducted into the Football Hall of Fame. And of course, his head statue looked nothing like him. What a super nice guy. I mean, he became a starter, of course, in 1999 after Trent Green was injured. He had 2 MVP seasons here in St. Louis, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and then, of course, made it to the Super Bowl again once with the Cardinals, did he not?
One play away from winning.
Well, yeah, almost won that darn thing. And American Underdog is the movie about his life. If you ever want to watch that, you saw.
it.
Ethan did not love it. I
loved
liked
it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
cheesy acting. Good story.
Yeah,
cheesy
good
acting.
story. But okay, listen, these people were super nice, and I did a story one time at Channel 4. You remember the coat drive they used to do?
Yeah.
The Warners, and they had like a picture of Kurt's face put on sticks for some event at a game that night. And I did some piece on the sticks of the coat thing. And Brenda Warner sent me a thank you note.
Huh.
Now, how cute is that? And she
super
said, I watched the coverage and I liked yours the best. And we really appreciate it. Thank you. I have
awesome.
never received, I just thought that was really thoughtful. So, and then you'd see them at the movie theater. I saw them once at the movie theater. And I'm like, hi, what's up? I mean, it was just so weird.
Are they still based here in St. Louis?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But
Why would
I'm
you
not
be?
for sure.
With all that money, why would you be?
Yeah, Joe, you run into Josh Allen at the movies?
I ran into Josh Allen once, and that was we went out for the one of the USA games during the World Cup, and he was at the same bar as me.
Oh, I love that. That's close
awesome.
enough. That's close enough. All right.
Did people notice you as much, or they say, "Hey, that sounds like Joe Beamer"?
No, I was running late because I was doing a show at the radio station in Buffalo, and I was held. Hold on, we're late. We're closing the entrance for Josh Allen, so I actually missed the beginning of the game because of Josh. But I completely understand.
I have to imagine that Josh Allen in Buffalo is about as as immortal of a view of a human being that a group of people have compared to anyone in the country.
Agreed. Agreed.
I mean, we're now doing updates of when Haley Steinfeld is shopping at the Wegmans. Okay? I mean,
now we're talking.
It's getting ridiculous.
All right. They had a new study out that found that the average American begins their nighttime routine at what time? Ethan, what time do you start the routine to go to bed?
8:30.
Ooh, that's interesting. Fred?
What time's this show end? It depends on what sporting event is on.
Oh, that's fair. What about you, Joe?
You know, with my new schedule, I would say I'm more average. I'd say 9:30.
Yeah, see, that's nice. I'm not an average. I have a weird schedule, so I don't count. They say it's 10:15.
Whoa.
Oof.
Now, on average, it takes 21 minutes to get ready for bed. So it actually happens around 10:36. Then it takes more than 40 minutes before you actually fall asleep. So the average person falls asleep at 11:18 p.m.
Okay, am I doing something wrong? Does it take 21 minutes to get ready for bed?
Well, I don't. Why? Are you faster or slower?
Well, I think much faster.
Yeah.
I
just
can't imagine what slows you down.
I don't know. I guess the reason I went with such an early time is I just assumed it was a little more of a drawn out process, that maybe you're not doing it all at once. You do something, then you maybe you watch some TV, and then you do something, you make your lunch. I don't know. That's kind of what my thought was.
Or then I think, oh, I left blah, blah downstairs and I need that for tomorrow, and I'll go down and get that.
Or you shower before bed, maybe?
Well, that's true. Some people, sometimes that happens.
My old schedule, I was a evening showerer, and
Yeah.
I mean, I was also going to bed at 8 o'clock.
My hair looks better if I sleep on it, Fred. You can make a note of that.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
I get it, though. Stuff happens, and then you have to deal with it, and then it makes you later. We like to watch Dave Portnoy do a pizza review before we go to bed.
That is amazing. Sue, I did not know. I was not familiar with your game.
Yes. Pizza review time.
Everybody knows the rules.
Everybody knows the
Everybody
rules.
knows the
That's
rules.
right. If it's got a thick crust and he says, all right, we're going to put it on a different scale, we all think, oh, don't do
All right,
it.
Frankie.
You hate that, Frankie. All right. Here we go. Now, they say that The average person reports they have 3 mornings per week when they wish they'd gone to sleep earlier. I have way more than that. Way more.
7.
Yes, thank you. All right, now here is a weird story out today. I'm just, okay. AC/DC's Thunderstruck. It's entrance music for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. But you know what? It bothers wolves. Now, the USDA uses the screeching lead vocals of Brian Johnson and the blaring guitar of Angus Young to scare wolves away from livestock farms. Now, they say that they use thermal detecting drones that play the music as they fly over the wolves, and it has greatly lessened the amount of cows killed. So if you think about it, this Thunderstruck is actually used for stuff like that. And they also use, this story was fascinating. They also use a huge argument scene from the movie Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver just screaming at each other. And apparently it really bothers the wolves. So the wolves stay away.
This is, I know it's not the random fact of the day, but this is the greatest random fact that has ever been brought to Sue's News.
I have no idea like what that means or why anybody would even write a story about it, but it's a thing. I just found it very interesting. And I kind of have random science news here. Well, it's actually space news. The first Australian-made rocket launched in Queensland last week and immediately crashed. The Australians haven't made it to the moon. It barely got off the ground. It was in the air 14 seconds. The company behind it called it, quote, a strong result. You say what? Okay. So a lot of countries have made it into space and in the moon, but not the Australians, which I never had thought about that.
No, I just assumed they had.
Right? Fred, what are you trying to say?
Part of me wants to make a joke about them being down under. And so it was harder to get the spacecraft up when it's down under.
That's fair.
But did you hear today, I guess it was Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, was talking about wanting to build a nuclear reactor on the moon.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because if we go to the moon and do things there, we're going to need energy there.
Sure.
So they're
what could go wrong?
Yeah,
I mean, that seems great.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, shooting that into space with fire under it sounds great. And in vegetable news, a study found potatoes and tomatoes are related. A wild tomato got together with a potato-like plant 9 million years ago, and that's where modern-day potatoes come from.
What? Thank God.
I know. And there was a really nice video. If you want to Google this, it's my kind of nice story of the day. Marine rescue workers in Australia. I'm trying to make Australia look better again, but they posted a video after they rescued a young dolphin from a fishing net. And it was swimming with its mother, and it had a net around its tail, and it couldn't swim properly. And they had a drone up for some reason and saw it. So they pulled over and got next to the dolphin and cut this net off of him and reunited it with his mother. And then they sent the drone back up to get a nice picture of it. And it's swimming away with its mom. If you really need a cute video, you should look that one up. That. Yeah, and that's in Australia as well. And I was going to say next week, but tomorrow we're going to talk about this. If you are at a concert and it's terrible, do you still clap at the end? Do you think?
No.
Okay, I'm impressed by that. Because I think most people just go, Do you clap at it? Well, there is a study out about it. Well, maybe I'll do it now. They found almost always people will do it because it's polite. 60% of Americans will clap no matter what. 31% said, no, you got to earn the applause. So you could just sit there at the end of a show, Joe, not applaud. You'd be like, yeah, okay.
Well, if it was an awful show, Sue, I'd be long gone. I'm not going to sit in traffic to watch crowd.
Oh, that's actually a good point.
Maybe the difference is between applause and a standing ovation.
Really?
Maybe you just
so you would
quietly applaud at your seat if you didn't like it.
Huh.
If you really liked it, you'd stand up.
By the way, Joe, we know that Brad Young hands out when people are acting up in the movie theater or talking during a show, he will hand them a card that says, Please stop talking.
I don't even think the word please is on it.
Oh, you're right. It's just stop talking.
Yeah.
It's one of the best
I love it.
things that I've ever heard. And he gave me one. I've yet to use it. And finally, in Sue's News, we have today's random fact. This blew me away. Martin Luther King Jr. and Anne Frank were born in the same year, right? 1929. Betty White was born 7 years before them.
Wow.
Whoa. And that's it for Sue's News and today's random fact.
Thank you, Sue. When we come back, we'll be talking with Colin Wright. He has a piece in the Wall Street Journal that we're going to talk about after this on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm Chad Robinson with Your Money Now. Stocks pulled back today on Wall Street as traders dealt with weaker than expected economic data, along with new tariff threats from the president. The Dow fell more than 60 points. The S&P 500 dropped 30, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq fell by nearly 140. Meanwhile, President Trump on CNBC today said he will unveil new tariffs on semiconductors and chips as soon as next week. Trump revealed the timeline days after he signed an executive order to impose new U.S. tariff rates on a number of countries' imports. Credit card balances are moving higher this year, according to a new quarterly report on household debt from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Balances rose by $27 billion to a collective $1.21 trillion, in line with last year's all-time high. Crude oil futures for September falling more than 1.5%. Currently, they're sitting above $65 a barrel at $65.17. That's Your Money Now.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a 1-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Hey, it's Mark Cox, and between now and the end of summer, chances are you or someone you know is in the market to buy or sell a home. And like me, you probably know a few realtors. In fact, I know several. However, when I needed to sell my home, I made just one call to Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Yes, I'm an actual client. No matter what the market does, Gloria Lou will guarantee up front and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference.
St. Louis home sellers, if you're looking for certainty and the most money guaranteed for the sale of your home, call me, Gloria Lou. My name is My Promise, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call me directly at 314-325-6888 or visit me online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The time is 4:33. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. Colin Wright set to join in just a moment right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, welcome back. Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. We are joined this segment by Colin Wright. Now, he's an evolutionary biologist and Manhattan Institute fellow. He has a piece in the Wall Street Journal called Cornell University Discriminated Against Me, and he is here to talk about that. Colin, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
So, Colin, you wrote about Cornell University discriminating against you. So let's start at the beginning. You applied at Cornell?
So I applied to a position in Cornell in late 2019 in their neurobiology program. The program the job that I mentioned in the Wall Street Journal article was a job I would have applied to, but could not because they specifically hid the job search so that they could only hire what they explicitly called a diversity hire.
So now you knew that going in, that they were looking for
So
a DEI hire.
This only became revealed in the last month or so when a whistleblower sent in documents basically uncovering that there was this coordinated effort to have a race-based hiring scheme at Cornell in 2020.
So when you were going through the process, what was communicated to you? What in 2019 did Cornell say to you?
So when I applied to their other position that wasn't, hidden, it's the reason I was able to apply. It was standard. I had to fill out a diversity, equity, and inclusion statement when I applied, but I just got a standard rejection letter when I applied there. The position has been filled. Thanks for applying. If you'd like to apply in the future, we'd love to have your application. But I didn't get any response for, the other job, because it's something I couldn't apply to at all because it was specifically hidden from me.
And now you say a whistleblower came out with this information. So, Colin, what are your steps now in relation to Cornell?
Yeah, so since this whole illegal hiring scheme came out, I was contacted by the America First Policy Institute. They're a team of lawyers that helps represent people for violations of their civil rights. And they said, asked me if I wanted to be their plaintiff. I was a plaintiff they're looking for and sue Cornell. So the first step we did was file it's called an EEOC complaint. It's the Equal Employment Opportunities Commission. They're going to do a quick investigation and give us, hopefully it's called a right to sue. And then, we present this information to Cornell and we see what their response is, whether they're going to try to settle or whether they're going to try to take this to court and defend their illegal hiring scheme.
Now, Colin, you mentioned this in the piece, and we should let our listeners know, you're not playing a political game here, because you say in the second paragraph of the opinion piece that you yourself are a liberal. Exactly. I came from being on the left voter. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. It was my dissatisfaction with the way that the left was dealing with particularly issues around DEI and sort of this anti-racist racism that I've come to view it, that has really made me reject at least that sort of woke progressive aspect of the left. But I still harbor plenty of liberal views. I just really hope that they'll back off these racist policies that really seem to be mainstreamed across much of the left right now. See, so as you said, there's still a lot on the left that you agree with. But this you've been affected by. I mean, do you think it's stuff like this that's hurting the liberal side, hurting the Democrat Party in polls? Absolutely. I think it's a massive thing. I mean, we have the one party that's claiming to be the party that's against racism and especially systemic racism, but they're the ones that are actually implementing systemically racist policies, which is what DEI is across the board. It's, if you're favoring one race or one group of diverse candidates, given that there's only
a limited number of jobs out there, you're necessarily discriminating against people who are, quote, non-diverse on the basis of race. So it's preposterous, and people can really see the absurdity of what's going on over there.
I would also say it's racist in itself to think that
Yeah.
the government needs to tell people who to hire, and not thinking that people can get it based on their education and their qualifications.
Yeah, I mean, my view is that it should just be a merit-based hiring scheme. Anytime you use some sort of immutable characteristic, whether it's sex or whether it's someone's race, something other than merit, especially in a job at a prestigious Ivy League university where we're trying to get the top of the top intellects in the country. I just think that this is something we should go away from. And of course, it's also a violation of individual civil rights.
So, Colin, you didn't get this job at Cornell. So, did you end up landing a college job? What are you up to these days?
So I ended up leaving academia later in 2020 because I knew that these types of hiring schemes were likely quite rampant, just in my conversations with other colleagues who had participated on certain hiring committees, and the fact that DEI statements were basically just ubiquitous in all of academia. So I ended up leaving. I started sort of a career in journalism and public understanding of science, and now I work at the Manhattan Institute as a fellow there, really pushing back a lot of the sex and gender pseudoscience that's out there, but I still comment diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff that I think is really making it so the left is basically something I'm unable to go back to for a while. They need to really reflect on this and move away from these racist policies.
So, to that point of going back, if things continue to shift the other way, depending on the outcome of this, I mean, is academia something that you would entertain in the future?
Absolutely. Yeah. I live in Nashville. There's Vanderbilt universities close by. I know that they've recently had like a free speech wing that they've opened up and hired a bunch of scholars. So yeah, I mean, for me, the future is open. I'd be willing, if these universities are distancing themselves from all the DEI stuff, I would for sure think about reapplying to universities again as either teaching position or even a research position, given that I now publish a lot on the sort of the biology of sex now. So absolutely, that's still something I'm considering.
Well, Colin, we'll keep our eyes on this, and as you said, you view it from how this affected you, but you still hold a lot of liberal beliefs. I feel like this common sense against DEI. I do on one of my other shows, I do Common Ground with Democrats. It's every Wednesday. We talk to Democrats and try to find common ground. I feel like this is something that 80% of the nation could find common ground on.
Well, I think so. I think, and to get people to raise awareness and just sort of getting shaken out of their complacency about DEI, if you just reverse the races in my situation, if you say, well, Cornell had this hiring scheme where they specifically only reached out to white male candidates and they specifically tried to keep things confidential and disqualified, qualified Black or other candidates. I mean, this would be like a national scandal. It'd be something taught in textbooks. Nobody on any side of the aisle would have any problem seeing the moral disaster that this is. Yet somehow one half of the political aisle seems to just think, me even bringing this up is evidence that I am a white supremacist or something. It's absurd. So it's about couching, it's about framing. But I think most people, if we get them one-on-one, we'll be able to see how truly immoral this type of thing is.
His name is Colin Wright. Go to Wall Street Journal, read his piece, Cornell University Discriminated Against Me. It's a great read. And Colin, really appreciate the conversation today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
That is, again, Colin Wright. He is an evolutionary biologist, and as he said, currently at the Manhattan Institute, but not against going back into academia. I got to tell you, I do have a story at Cornell University. I went there to go see a family member play baseball and sat in an ice storm. They have a beautiful sports complex. I do have to give Cornell that. But my memories of Cornell are going to be sitting there in an ice storm and watching my, it's like my second removed cousin get a hit when you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. Somehow he saw the pitch and hit it out into the outfield. That's my Cornell moment. When we come back, we're gonna dip back into some of the fighting words from the liberal governors around the United States. And Sue brought up Dave Portnoy and pizza reviews, and I have a pizza question that someone brought to me. So all that and much, much more here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
There is a very serious accident on northbound 270 south of 70. And at one point, they had closed traffic and were diverting it. We now have one left lane getting by. Again, this is northbound 270 headed for 70. Please avoid this area. In fact, if you would like, you could take Lindbergh. That looks fine. You could go further and take 141. But again, 270, a serious accident south of 70, causing a massive delay. Now, southbound 170 is a slow go, headed for 40. Northbound is a little slow, headed for 70. Westbound 70 slowing at Jennings Station Road and past the airport. And 6440, it's the usual volume. Kings Highway out past McCausland. Eastbound is slow, headed for the Poplar Street Bridge. 44 is slowing in front of the Arch grounds. This report is brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. Barron Mirror Glass and Door has the largest, most beautiful showroom in all of St. Louis, full of the most custom designs, located in the Chesterfield Valley. There you'll see why they say creativity unlimited, quality unsurpassed. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Mark Cox doesn't fake it. He's lived it here in St. Louis. Pro-freedom, pro-family, pro-truth. If it matters to Missouri, it matters to Mark. Mark Cox, mornings on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis, and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 5-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com, or for faster service, call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is St. Louis Conservative. No filters, no fluff. Mark Reardon is back on the mic.
It's Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon here on 97.1 FM Talk. Great to be with you on this Tuesday. We have been talking about just a plethora of things going on in the political world and beyond. But I want to there's two things I want to bring up, and I'm guessing now is the best time to do it. So in the last during Sue's news, Sue brought up Dave Portnoy and his pizza reviews, and I have gone to the place he's ranked highest here in Buffalo, and let me tell you, it's on the list of my top 3.
Hey, what is it? Because I was just in Buffalo.
Oh, and you didn't say hi?
Well, because Fred hadn't given me your number yet. I just got it yesterday.
I understand. I would say it's a tie. I think Lenova is now. I should also say I worked at Lenova for 14 years through high school and college.
You've worked everywhere. Yes.
So Lenova Pizzeria, where I started working there my sophomore year of high school, or Picasso's. I would say those are the two best if you want Buffalo style.
What's Buffalo style?
So it's not Detroit crust, but it's not New York thin crust. It is right in the middle of Detroit and New York.
Okay.
And I would say that those are the two best. Lenova also has a really good New York slice, but Lenova and Picasso's would be my my tied for first. I could not pick one over the other.
Okay. Just curious. All right.
Now, I heard this, and I'm not going to say who, but a friend of mine who works here at the station said that the worst place for pizza is St. Louis. And I love you guys, and I would never, I said I can't agree with that. I'd have to taste the pizza. But what is the status of St. Louis pizza?
Well, it's because of Emos. And what we do is we have a thin crust, and it is not a super thin. It is not cut. Well, it's cut in squares. It's the square beyond compare. And the argument is whether or not Provel cheese goes on there. So we are all used to it, and I love it. Give me an Emos any daggone day. But there are those who come from out of town who can't stand it, but there are also those who come from out of town who worship it. So you're either in one camp or the other.
You don't have a lot of people that just say it's decent. I'm one of those people. I'm just like, it's fine. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's still pizza. There's some people that Provel cheese touches their tongue, and they're like, this is disgusting. It tastes like plastic. It's gross. It does have it definitely tastes different. It has, I think, a little bit of a different aftertaste. But there's not a lot of people that say it's just kind of in the middle. Usually people either hate it or they really like it.
I would agree with that assessment.
So is there a traditional pizza place, like a place that serves New Yorkish style or Detroit style pizza in St. Louis?
Racanelli's, and we've got some Detroit style pizzas. There's one in South County, not too far from my new house. I'll take you there, Ethan.
Okay.
But yeah, so we do have some Detroit. Definitely Racanelli's is going to be the closest you're going to get to a New York style. So yeah, we have others.
Okay. All right. I got to get, I keep telling my wife, we got to take a trip. Like I have the bucket list items, right? I want to go to Montana and I want to go to the pyramid in Memphis, but I got to get to St. Louis.
The pyramid in Memphis. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
I watched a video of one of these social media influencers who spent a night at the hotel at the Bass Pro Pyramid in Memphis. And now it's like, I have to do that. This is a must.
Okay.
We put this on the Joe Beamer list.
I like Montana's and the
amazing.
Memphis Pyramid. One of these things is not like the other.
Well, those are, I go to Vegas enough. I go to Florida enough. I'm in Canada way too often. These are two things within the range that's not ridiculous. We could last minute plan trips to these places that are on my list. I've always wanted. Montana looks beautiful. Like I definitely want to go there.
It is.
Yes.
But before any of that, like I told my wife, the next trip we plan, we've got to incorporate St. Louis. I mean, I've been doing fill-ins for over 2 years. I've got to go see the city of St. Louis.
It would help, yes.
And
yes. Maybe to step foot into the city. Yes.
So that's on the list. I'd like to incorporate it around, a fill-in so I could come and be in the studio with you guys. But
yeah, that'd be fun.
That's the list. And then, of course, I got to get a list of what the food is when I'm in St. Louis. And
we got you covered for that.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm happy for that. And then I got to say this. Trump just gave a press conference on the Olympics in 28. Now, I went to the Olympics in 96 in Atlanta after the bomb. We were on our way down. We drove down to Atlanta 2 days after when they reopened the park was the day that we started going to the competition. And I got to say, I'm psyched for the Olympics to be in the States.
Yeah.
It's going to be LA in 28. It's going to be in Utah in 32. I think I might actually go in 32. I love the Olympics. I
Me
feel like
too. Love it.
I feel like some places feel like, or some people feel like it's lost its luster. I love it. I love, rooting on the American flag for every event. And I can't wait to show the States off.
Yeah, same. I love it. Love it. I prefer summer, but I can handle winter.
Yeah, I mean, I love summer with the tennis, but I love winter for now that the NHL players are back in the hockey. I'm looking forward to the Winter Olympics as well. And by the way, we're hosting the World Cup next year as well.
That's
right. So
That-
definitely excited for that.
That one might end up being a little bit of a disaster. I'm a little bit worried about how
World
that
Cup?
might go. Yes.
Oh,
What do you think will happen?
Well, you just if the Copa America that happened a couple of years ago is any sort of tease as to what it was, security was terrible. They're saying at least infrastructures in certain areas of the country is just not ready for the amount of people that are going to be here, specifically in the Midwest. They're saying that it's going to be in Kansas City, right? One of the sites. They're saying that the amount of hotel backup that will be here in St. Louis as a result of it is going to be out of the wazoo.
Seriously?
Yes. So
wow, that's how far is it to Kansas City? 3.5, 4 hours?
And they're saying
Depends on who's
it's going
driving.
to book everything here. So
wow,
it'll be interesting to see if it affects other areas of the country like that. I
Imagine.
know.
Okay, but all right, 3.5 hours away. You're going to stay. Okay.
I know.
Ethan's saying it's going to be the Bristol MLB game all
Yeah,
over again.
essentially.
We'll be back after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got a major accident on northbound 270 south of 70. And this has caused a massive delay behind it. Now, it looks like only the left lane is getting by, and we have a parking lot jam that goes all the way back through 6440. If you are a northbound 270 driver north of 40, try Lindbergh, try the inner belt, or go past it and take 141, because right now it is a mess on northbound 270. Now, westbound 6440 is slow go approaching Kings Highway out past McCausland. Slow moving traffic a little bit through Chesterfield Valley and at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. 70 westbound moderate volume at Jennings Station Road and in pockets on out through the 40 split. Westbound 44 slowing in front of the Arch, and southbound 55 slow moving traffic, especially as you head toward Bates. This report is brought to you by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door. They'll do same-day service, 314-781-5200, or schedule online at overheaddoorstlewis.com. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesiderd.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Meeting. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Israel asked for the gathering of the UN Security Council after Hamas released a video of an emaciated hostage who was told to dig his own grave. The brother of that hostage addressed the council.
Eli David addressed a special UN Security Council session meant to address the Israeli hostages being held by Hamas, and he told them about his little brother.
Eviatar is the kindest person I know. I learned from him how to be a better son.
He said he couldn't watch the video Hamas released of Eviatar inside a tunnel being told to dig his own grave. But he said experts have concluded he's lost half his body weight and is on the brink of death. He said silence from world leaders is complicity.
All leaders should unite to pressure Hamas and its partners. Act now before it's too late.
He said the lack of humanitarian aid to the hostages has been a flagrant violation of international law. Hamas has not allowed the Red Cross in to check on the hostages.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. President Trump declined to say whether he supports a potential military takeover of Gaza by Israel, saying his focus is on food access for Palestinians.
$60 million was given by the United States fairly recently to supply food and a lot of food, frankly, for the people of Gaza that are obviously not doing too well with the food. And I know Israel is going to help us with that in terms of distribution and also money.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has met with his security officials. Israeli media says he supports a military takeover of Gaza. The president was also asked about the Texas state Democrats who have fled to avoid voting on congressional redistricting, saying the FBI might have to get involved.
You can't just sit it out. You have to go back. You have to fight it out. That's what elections are all about.
Yesterday, Governor Greg Abbott authorized state troopers arrest the lawmakers, but many of them have left the state and are out of their jurisdiction. America is listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Partly sunny skies for our Tuesday afternoon, and temperatures still pretty nice for August. 86. Nice evening tonight, clear skies, 69 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny, it's warmer. Wednesday afternoon, we'll start to feel it, 88. Thursday, summertime, but nothing extreme. Sunny, hot, and humid, 91. 93 for the high Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, welcome back. It is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon, the final hour here on 97.1 FM Talk. And, I should say, by the way, every time that I get the pleasure of being able to fill in, I always have that Channel 5 app on the TV. And I do watch their 6 o'clock news every night to make sure that I am up to date with what's going on in the great city of St. Louis. By the way, in just a few minutes, we'll be joined by Scott Fitzpatrick. He is the Missouri auditor, and they issued a release today. And I read the whole thing, so you don't have to. I'm showing the camera there. I read the whole thing, so you don't have to. And Scott Fitzpatrick is here to tell us about their findings. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, man, happy to come on with you. Good to talk to you.
Now, you guys released a audit of the St. Louis Public Schools and found that the St. Louis Public Schools have a poor rating. Walk us through this audit.
Sure. So there were several findings in the audit, obviously, and the other thing I would stress is this is part one of two of our audit reports for the St. Louis Public Schools. We decided to break it into two reports because number one, it's a very large district. It's one of the largest in the state, obviously. And number two, just the volume of issues that were presented during the audit in terms of like the number of findings and the scope of the report. It was very broad. And so we wanted to look at kind of the high profile things first that everybody was concerned with, and the city officials were calling an audit as a result of some of these things that were in the news, or calling for an audit, I should say, as a result of some of these things from the news. And so we looked really in the first report at their budgetary situation, their financial condition, their hiring and firing practices, salaries, credit card use, and procurement processes and procedures. And there were a lot of issues, obviously, with those things. And really the big concern for me coming out of the report is really just the financial trajectory of the district and the fact that they're budgeting $35-ish million per year deficit spending. And they did that for the last fiscal year as well as the fiscal year they just started in July. And at the pace that they're budgeting at, the district would be out of money by 2031. So that's something that's going to be really critical for them to fix very soon because they're going to enter a pretty critical territory in terms of their fund balance in the next few years if they don't solve that problem.
Well, so can I ask you, for a simpleton like me, so if they're budgeting 30-some million over what they bring in, where is that 30 million coming from?
Well, they have a fund balance. So they built up a fund balance through the COVID years. There was a lot of extra revenue that was coming to schools during that period of time, a lot of one-time money or temporary funding, I should say, that was part of some of the pandemic era bills that passed, as well as, there was a lot of extra state funding that was sent to them during that period of time. And so they built up a fund balance that's allowed them a cushion from which they can spend more than they're bringing in on an annual basis for a limited period of time. But eventually that will not work anymore.
Now, you guys also found that they were paying $3.5 million in attendance incentives, which you say is a violation of the Missouri Constitution. Can you explain that?
Yeah, the Missouri Constitution broadly prohibits payment for past performance for public employees. So that applies to state government, it applies to counties, cities, school districts, and every other political subdivision of the state, that you cannot issue essentially a bonus to an individual for past performance. They basically have to have a salary, agreed upon salary schedule, but the bonuses are prohibited. And so the district created this incentive program that they were paying out. They paid out, as you noted, $3.5 million in this incentive program. So a lot of which was paid regardless of whether individuals actually met the attendance requirements. And so it wasn't even if it was constitutional, they didn't actually apply the program the way they said they were designing it. But it's just an unconstitutional way of paying people. And, when you're talking about a district that size, $3.5 million, that's a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of taxpayer money to be used in a way that is in violation of the Constitution.
Now, I also the expenditures here, I kind of had to start laughing, Scott, because the first thing you mentioned is a Topgolf rental for almost $4,000. Did you dig in and see what they were actually using that Topgolf rental for? What was the event the schools were using that for?
I think they did. There was some, I don't know if it was a team building or what the event was. I remember hearing an explanation for it at one point, but you're right. I mean, we did a sample, when we do an audit, we basically select a sample of a population. And in this case, there was 1.4 million in transactions or purchases using their 24 purchasing cards from June of 2023 through August of 2024. And so we selected 27 of those transactions to just test if they were questionable or unreasonable or not. And of the 27, what we found was that 17 were problematic. So 63% of the sample was problematic. And you're right. I mean, we had the almost $4,000 to Topgolf. There was a $1,700 charge for a 4-night stay at the Caesars Palace Resort in Las Vegas, and then another almost $1,300 for a mystery Airbnb rental that nobody can explain what that was for, that was charged on the superintendent's card. So those are just some examples of the $1.4 million of credit card purchases that we identified in our sample that were problematic.
Man, I wonder what Odyssey would do if I charged them a 4-night stay at Caesars Palace. I mean, my gosh, these I mean, reading this report, it seems like some of the officials were kind of living high, or are kind of living high.
Well, yeah, I mean, we included in the report, and I actually, asked the audit staff to add at the end of the report an appendix showing just the what the superintendent calls her cabinet, the cabinet positions, and you'll see there's 12 cabinet positions, and if you total up, I haven't done the math, but I'd be interested because the governor of Missouri has 16 cabinet members. There's 16 departments. I think that the St. Louis Public Schools superintendent's cabinet total salary was more than the governor of Missouri's cabinet. So they clearly had a lot of administrative positions at the school district. It's just a tremendous salary. I mean, when you're looking at the salaries, a lot of these people are in the high 100s to the 200,000 mark in terms of their salaries. And they're all public employees. I mean, you can look at state government, you won't find hardly anybody making that kind of money in state government. So they're definitely, very high salaries, lots of administrative staff. The cabinet being almost the size of the cabinet of the governor of Missouri is pretty unbelievable.
So you said this is part one. There's going to be a second one. What should we look for in that release?
Sure. Yeah. So, we're going to look at other kind of more school district specific items in that. We're looking specifically at what happened with the transportation issue that exploded on the district right before school last year, how they ended up in that situation. Did they not have provisions in their contract that allowed them to recoup the cost of replacing that vendor, when they had a short notice cancellation like that? We're going to look at, the real estate. The school district owns a tremendous amount of real estate that is blighted and that is not in use. They also have a lot of school buildings that are very underutilized. Maybe they're designed for 1,000 kids and they've got a couple hundred kids in them or something like that. So we're going to look at kind of the use of their fixed assets. We're going to look at their attendance policies and tracking, when kids are coming to school and how they report on that. There will be, security, safety drills, a lot of the things that, can impact student safety, student performance, and those sorts of things. So it's really going to be more school district specific type issues that'll be in that second report.
Would you expect, or have you seen similar things in other big city school districts?
Well, there's been very little auditing of schools prior to my administration by the state auditor's office. And so when we took office, the office was very understaffed. We have tried to ramp up the school auditing program so that we've always had a couple of schools under audit the whole time during the 2.5 years that I've been here. And so we've issued the other large district we've issued a report on was Francis Howell. We're getting ready to issue a report on the Independent School District over by Kansas City. And obviously there were a lot of issues at Francis Howell. I don't know if you ever saw that report, but Francis Howell was a district that had a lot of problems. They had a high school that they built that was supposed to cost $80 million that ended up costing like $160 million. So we looked at their procurement process, their construction process that they went through on that high school, and how they ended up in such a terrible position on that deal. Independence is not out yet, but I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's a pretty good report. They're doing a fairly good job over there running their school district. But I would say St. Louis takes the cake in terms of problems. Many more problems than Francis Howell was dealing with.
Well, Scott, we appreciate you joining us and breaking it down.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
That is Scott Fitzpatrick. He is Missouri State Auditor, and he and his team released an audit of the St. Louis public schools. Yeah, the almost $4,000 for Top Golf rental. That one stuck out. Obviously, 4 nights at Caesars. I'd like my employer to give me 4 nights at Caesars. Let me tell you. It is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon, and we are back after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, the big issue this afternoon, traffic-wise, has been the accident on northbound 270 approaching 70. And the problem there was we had, for a little while, they shut the whole interstate down. But now we've got one left lane getting by. Traffic is still heavy and slow in pockets because we had accidents south of there. So slow pockets that go back through 64. Now, it's still a slow go, but it's not the parking lot it once was. People have taken Lindbergh and 141, and those are heavier than usual as drivers use that as alternates. And the Interbelt northbound a little bit slower than usual. So if you want to try it, you can. It's better than it was, but it's still a slow go. Now an accident southbound 270 on the ramp to 70 in the left lane. Other than that, it's the usual volume, 6440 lining up at Kings Highway, and out west, 70 slows at Highway A. Now, if you're headed into Illinois, it looks like it's just the usual volume downtown, which is to say a little slow, headed for the bridge, but fine on the bridge itself. I'm Sue Thomas. That's traffic, 97.1 FM Talk. Oh, St. Louis conservative.
Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property, manage vegetation, and clear land for better views. Enjoy your land the way you always dreamed of. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play.
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible.
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it.
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game. That couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
If you've been thinking about a new project for your backyard, now's the time to call my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. If you mention my name, they will give you 20% off the bottom line of your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. It's what they do. They've been at it for many, many years, since 1968, and they take a lot of pride in what they do at Chesterfield Fence. Now, of course, they do fences and they do decks. That's in the name. But they can also help you with a custom pergola in your backyard, maybe an indoor-outdoor room that's all season, or just a screened-in porch. They can do cement work and build a nice fire pit in your backyard. Whatever you can imagine, they will help you design it and put it into your backyard, and they stand behind all of their products with great guarantees. Better Business Bureau accredited with an A+ rating. Call them right now and tell them you want your 20% off. Mention my name. Go to chesterfieldfence.com.
Now back to Mark Reardon, calling out the nonsense, one segment at a time. 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, welcome back. Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. And thanks to all who have joined us so far. Thanks to you for listening. You know, we've got everyone talking tough, right? Everyone on the left talking tough. You got governors of very blue states talking tough. And here is clip 24. You've got, really the circus was with these three, Hochul, Newsom, and Pritzker, talking about how they're going to fight back. Clip 24.
This is a war. We are at war. And that's why the gloves are off, and I say, bring it on.
They've triggered this response, and we're not going to roll over, and we're going to fight fire with fire.
This is a righteous act of courage, and we can all take a page from the leader's playbook. When you show people that you have the will to fight, well, they can muster the will to fight too.
Yeah, Governor Hochul saying that, this is war. This is war with Republicans. Democrats continue to use rhetoric like that. We have a guy here in Erie County, New York, who said that he wants to eliminate the Republican Party in Amherst, which is the biggest suburb of Buffalo. And, it's words like that. And then you see some of the reactions. You see some of the rhetoric from people. Now, I joined Blue Sky so I can see what the opposition mindset is saying. And let me tell you, they say some ridiculously hateful things. I'm not going to sit here and say Republicans don't. But some of the things that I've seen on Blue Sky, there are people on Blue Sky that are still debating if Donald Trump was shot in the ear or not. Seriously, you want to talk about conspiracy? They're debating if Trump was actually shot in the air or if it was all fake. It never happened. I mean, that's what's going on Blue Sky. That's what's going on with the extreme left. And now you've got Hochul, who's saying we're going to war with Republicans. Again, this rhetoric, nothing new from the Democratic Party. We heard it the first time Trump was president. We're hearing it now. And let me tell you, I knew I wouldn't be sick of winning, but my gosh, I did not know that the daily freakouts from elected officials were going to be back in full force. And we are seeing it again. And we're seeing it with this, J.P. Pritzker saying this is a righteous act. As I said in the first segment of the show, this is nothing more than a performance. And guess what? You're not going to get your way. The Democrats running off to Illinois and New York, again, to states that have taken full advantage of gerrymandering. It is like when my parents would put me in timeout when I was a kid. They would put me in this corner in the living room in our house in Hornell, New York, and I would kick the wall until until my time in timeout was over. Didn't change anything. Sometimes it actually got me in more trouble. I was just being a loud, annoying child throwing a temper tantrum because I didn't get my way. And that's what's going on with these Texas Democrats. They're not scoring. They might be scoring political points among Democrats, but they're not gaining anything. They're not changing anything. They're running away from their job. They're running away from their constituents. This is the same as, the Democrats who won't come on my show. The leading candidate for mayor in Buffalo won't come on my show because they don't want opposing thoughts. They want you to be in line with them. And if you're not, it's just like Kathy Hochul said, they want to go to war. They want to eliminate the Republican Party. And it's sad that we've gotten to this point. You've got more and more Democrats that don't want to find a common ground. And again, more and more Democrats who are so used to having the media on their side and being able to dictate which way the interview goes, that you have Democrats that want to avoid any kind of opposition questioning. I mean, my gosh, they want to sit there and point to Trump for everything. Trump did an interview with Terry Moran from ABC. We learned exactly what Terry Moran thought of Republicans, right? But Trump did an interview with them. He didn't run away. He did a town hall with Caitlin Collins. My gosh, every night the Caitlin Collins show seems to be the anti-Trump show. And then it's sad when you have Democrats that, again, you have a few that will talk with conservative interviewers, but most want to run away. Again, because they want to go to war with the Republicans. And this display in Texas, and again, regardless of how you feel about Texas doing a mid-decade census switch, which, by the way, blue states have attempted to do, regardless of how you feel about it, you've got to admit that running to Illinois is laughable. And again, it's running away from your job. It's running away from your constituents. So, to me, this is just a different page out of the same book of how Democrats and their rhetoric for at least the last 10 years. And while we're at it, let's play clip 25. I'd like to play this rich clip from Governor Pritzker.
Remember, all bets are off when the cult leader and would-be dictator of the United States tells Texas to midstream change the game when they know that they're going to lose in 2026. All bets are off. Everything's got to be on the table.
Yeah, here's the thing. They don't know they're going to lose in 26. I think it's the Democrats who are scared they're not going to have the midterm wave that, let's be honest, the opposing party almost always gets because they are historically unpopular. In this calling Trump, I'm telling you, calling Trump a cult leader, a dictator, a fascist, authoritarian, it's not working. This is not the first term. People woke up in November of 24. There's a reason Trump is president. And it's because Americans looked at two choices and they thought, well, this guy's a lot better than whatever the last administration was. And that includes Kamala Harris. She was part of that last administration. People didn't vote for him thinking he was a dictator, an authoritarian, a fascist, because he's not. It's lazy. And it's the same stuff they pulled for 4 years. It's funny. The dictator got on a helicopter and got the heck out of D.C. when his term was up. The authoritarian walked away from power, right? But again, that would take common sense. It's using these buzzwords. And then you've got people who just, are glued to CNN all day, every day. And they're using the buzzwords. I don't think half of them know what fascist even means. I really don't. And that's not me calling them stupid. That's just me saying they're using it in a way that doesn't make sense. And again, think what you want of Trump. You hate Trump, that's fine. But can Democrats stop calling everyone they don't like a fascist, a Nazi, a racist, a sexist? You're taking weight out of words that should have weight. They should carry some weight. But because everything we don't like is one of these things, it doesn't take the weight. It should mean something when you call someone a racist, right? But the Democrats have used it to explain everyone they don't like, that the word doesn't carry the weight anymore. And that right there is a real shame. When we come back, we'll get a Democrat's thoughts on what the state of the party is and what the future of the party looks like. Does it look like the policies of Zoran Mamdani? We'll ask after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Crews have been dealing with an accident on northbound 270 south of 70. They still have only the left lane getting by. We have a parking lot jam back through Page and then some moderate volume that goes back through Ladue Road. Also slow is southbound 270. There was an accident at 70, and then it's got the usual volume from looks like about 40 now down through 44. Westbound 64 lines up Kings Highway out past McCausland. There's heavy traffic on the inner belt from Forest Park Parkway down through 40. Westbound 70 slow at Jennings Station Road, and again past Lake St. Louis Boulevard in pockets, and that goes out through Wentzville. And some volume on westbound 40 through Chesterfield Valley as well. I feel like traffic is heavier today than it has been in a while. This report is brought to you by Siding Express. Siding Express can transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie siding. They specialize in James Hardie siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. Sidingexpress.com. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's Traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Have you saved enough money for retirement, or do you even know? I'll tell you what, the closer we get to retirement, the more real it becomes. And you think, okay, do I have a plan? Because let me tell you something, you have to have a plan. If you want to feel confident in retirement, you need a written retirement financial plan. And it can't be a cookie cutter. We were just talking about this in studio, Fred and I, about different things that you need to run through for retirement. And you have to understand how things work. This is why I like financial and tax architects. They're just the best. They've been around St. Louis and helped St. Louisans for years doing this. And they customize plans. They look at your income. They look at what you've got. Customize a plan that will work for you and make your money last for your entire retirement. So give them a call and go to this class. It's called Retirement Planning 101. 314-888-5101. 314-888-5101, and have someone help you in retirement.
Well, I want to guide you into the help of Susan L. Ward, who's a family practice attorney. I would not make the case that being any kind of an attorney is easy because the law is very complicated. But look, this area of family law is unique because there's so many emotions that are involved. I've been there myself. It's a couple of decades ago. But if you are facing the end of a marriage, first thing that Susan would tell you is get on the horn right away, call, contact them. Don't put that off because that could come back to haunt you. But she has a wealth of experience with a brand new location, by the way, that's near 270 and Manchester in De Pere. They're very proud of the new new location, but they get calls all the time from people like you who need help in these situations. It might be where you were already divorced. I know when I moved back here to St. Louis, I had to do new parenting plans. So there's things in the aftermath of divorce, post-divorce issues that come up that Susan can help you with as well. She is absolutely outstanding. You'll feel the energy from Susan if you get her on the phone or you meet her in person. 314-783-9400. The focus on family law, the emphasis on you. Get with Susan L. Ward today at stlfamilylaw.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Did you know that 60% of adults over 20 avoid going to the dentist due to deep fear of dental treatment? Knowing that many of our chronic health problems can be directly related to the harmful bacteria in our mouth, not going to the dentist can be very dangerous. Hi, this is Dr. Michael White. I've been helping the dental anxiety patient for over 20 years with anxiety-free sedation. This is very effective and very affordable. Call my office at 314-270-8552. That's 314-270-8552.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Well, if you can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation today. 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters. Banner Construction.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The one and only Jane Dueker joining the show here in just a moment. The time, 5:34. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Born in the Midwest, built on common sense. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, welcome back. It is Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon, and we are joined by Jane Dueker. You know her. She's a local attorney, former candidate for Democratic nomination for St. Louis County Executive, and former chief of staff of Governor Holden. Jane, welcome back to the show.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm here in New York State, so obviously I'm seeing a lot of news about Zoran Mamdani.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Warren was asked yesterday if Zoran Mamdani was, I'm paraphrasing, the future of the party, and she said, "You bet." Jane, what's your take on that comment and Zoran Mamdani?
Well, first of all, it's ridiculous. And, this does arise from the problem that I've been pointing out for a while, that when Democrats don't properly brand themselves in a positive way, it will be branded for you. And, Bernie Sanders loves him. He's not even a Democrat. And, I'm not surprised that Elizabeth Warren loves him. But this is like the socialist wing of the party, though. And I don't think it reflects the values of most Democrats. But, New York could cause problems for Democrats. If we don't get it together, he is going to be our brand. AOC is going to be our brand. Bernie's going to be our brand. And if we don't shake it, I think the American people are not going to be interested in Democrats.
So who does it take to push back? Because I'm not saying that you have everyone getting in line with Mamdani, but you don't see pushback. You don't see Governor Hochul pushing back on Mamdani or Hakeem Jeffries pushing back.
Well, I think the failure of them to take his calls, you know what I mean, to help campaign and to endorse I think that speaks loudly. But you're right. I mean, if the party doesn't come out and say, these are not, defunding the police is not our values. I mean, that's what needs to be said. I mean, and I think when you say pushback, that's what it should mean. It should mean that we come out and say, you know what? We are a capitalist country. There may be Republicans, there may be Democrats, but we are all capitalists. We are not socialists. And this idea that New York is going to provide free daycare is delusional. It's delusional. And what I don't like is these local governments in the cities who want to rebel against whatever, that they think that they can take on problems that are not properly local government. Childcare is not a local government issue. They don't have enough money. I mean, they would have to fully defund the police in order to provide free childcare. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. So, I'm hoping this is a good opportunity for Democrats to stand up. I am nervous whether they will do it.
So if you had the ear of an Eric Adams and Andrew Cuomo, I mean, would you tell one to step down, and who would you tell to step down?
I would probably see. This is also the problem. When the other candidates are not that great, it doesn't help. And so, this is one of those situations where you should start over, but that's not possible. So, I mean, you're going to have one of these candidates stand up and say, I'm not going to defund the police. You may not like me for A, B, and C, but I'm going to keep you safe. And that needs to be the message. I mean, without making people safe, nothing else matters. And every poll will always tell you public safety is the number one issue. So I don't know why Democrats, I've been a Democrat for, 30 something years. And, when I was in the party and we were actually winning statewide races in Missouri, we were not anti-police.
Yeah.
And there were just in firefighters, those are working people. We're supposed to be the party of the working person. And we've lost our way on that.
So, we hear so much about the, Democrat Party. I mean, obviously, Republicans are underwater. They're under 50%, but Democrats are historically low in some of these polls. Is it, we hear so much about it being the woke end of the party. I mean, does that coincide with the ultra left like the AOCs? Do you think that is playing into these low poll numbers?
Oh, no question. Absolutely no question. I think that, the presidential should show you that. People want to feel safe. They want to feel safe from the border, and they want to feel safe within cities. And that is not happening. And I don't think the middle, the people that we're supposed to get in presidentials, believed that Kamala would actually do what it takes to, to keep people safe. I mean, she was a prosecutor and people didn't believe her because she spent a lot of years almost denying that she was a prosecutor. And I think people sense that. And I think if we don't get over the wokeness, I wonder what the Republican Party is going to do after Trump is gone. I mean, who's going to fill that void? But the Democrats have a more fundamental problem in that we have not defined ourselves as to what we are. And I think that's what we need to do.
Now, Jane, I'm sure you'll be asked this and have been asked this for the next few years, but you talk about the void after Trump for Republicans. I mean, it should be an opportunity for Democrats to take advantage of. Who is or who are, maybe there's a list, the candidates that you think would help the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, follow the MAGA movement of Trump?
Well, I mean, I think that one, you're going to need a moderate. This idea that we need to go further left to make our fortunes better is ridiculous. Okay, because we're never going to get that middle. As small as it is, we're never going to get that middle. So it's going to have to be somebody moderate. My belief is that we need to find somebody in the Midwest. Going to either coast right now, I just don't think is a good sale for the American people. And so I think we need to find a Midwesterner. We need to find somebody who's pro-police, who understands. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's got to be in the middle, like Bill Clinton. I mean, he stole the middle by talking about fraud, waste, and abuse. And now we act like it's a dirty word. I mean, he was the man who got us a budget surplus. And, and we're going to reject those values. I mean, that's it. To me, it is more important that we that we get somebody consistent with those values, the values that the bulk of Americans believe. We have to stop talking about all these fringe issues that affect 1 million of 1% of the population.
Do you think you mentioned Bill Clinton, Arkansas now a pretty dominantly red state. Do you think it's someone from a red state like an Andy Beshear who, Trump wins the state by 30, but somehow Beshear continues to win the governor's seat?
Beshear is a very good example of what I'm talking about. And he's sort of bucking the woke trend. And I mean, we're seeing it so here in St. Louis, I mean, the voters are rejecting kind of the woke. That's sort of done. And I think that, even in urban areas, people are starting to think, well, you know what, maybe we don't want to be shot. Maybe we do want to be safe. And maybe, this experiment that we tried where we defund the police and we let everybody out of jail, maybe that's not the right way we go. So I do believe there is a movement toward the middle. But, this guy in New York, he's going to frustrate us. He's going to frustrate our brand because if he gets through, it's going to be, he's the easiest guy to point to. And again, if we don't brand ourselves, it's going to be done for us.
And because it's New York, it might be a local election, but it does have national consequences.
It could. I mean, it's going to just make it a little bit harder for us to develop the brand that we want in order to start capturing the middle. I mean, we captured the middle, 4 years ago. And, and we gave it away. And so I think that, I think both parties, next election, both parties have a lot of soul searching to do. And it might be a real opportunity for everyone to realign, but we have to start preparing for that now.
I know we're running out of time, but I got to ask you, speaking of the next election, the midterms are next year, and we're seeing the Texas Democrats in Illinois. They're in Albany. Now, I'm looking at this as, regardless of what you think about the debate in Texas, I'm looking at the outrage from the left as, it's 5 seats, and yes, the Republicans might be unpopular, but we're historically unpopular. Are the Democrats looking at the midterms as, this might not be the easy takeover of the House that we thought?
Yes. And I mean, people may not admit it, but, we had a possibility, to take the normal situation, which is the incumbent loses seats, and, do more with that and actually start to put us in a good position for the next presidential. But I've not really seen the planning, the coalescing, the message, the message discipline, the message development at all. So I'm afraid that we're going to miss an opportunity to make some gains. I am cautiously optimistic we can still get there, but and now the political cycle is so much faster than it used to be. And so things can change on a dime. And I'm sort of hoping that something helps us with that. But right now, I'm not thrilled. I think people sort of think that we're doing okay right now. And so, I mean, Trump may not get, a contrary message in the midterms. And that could be bad for us because they're going to roll a lot of policies through if that happens. So it's going to be interesting.
Hey, Jane, great talking to you, and we'll hear from you again soon.
Great. Thanks. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. That's Jane Dueker, local attorney, former candidate for St. Louis County Executive and former Chief of Staff for Governor Holden. We'll be back with our final segment after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
It's been quite an afternoon on northbound 270. There was a pretty serious accident as you approach I-70, and they've had the right lanes blocked. That continues to be the case. Only the left lane is getting by. It's created a parking lot jam back through Olive. Now, this has put extra volume on the Interbelt. Lindbergh isn't too bad. A little bit extra on 141 as drivers use that as an alternate. Now, westbound 70 still slowing at Jennings Station Road and at Wentzville. 64 has a slow pocket or two, Kings Highway through Chesterfield Valley. And we look good now. If you are headed into Illinois, really no delays on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. Barron Mirror Glass and Door, simply the finest when it comes to mirror glass and shower doors. You can't find better quality, prices, or service than at Barron Mirror Glass and Door. They have all the basics all the way up to the elite. Barron Mirror Glass and Door can't be beat. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The Annie Fry Show.
Attorney General Andrew Bailey with us. Is it legal to provide mifepristone through the mail?
It is my position that it is a criminal offense under the federal code.
The Annie Fry Show, weekdays at noon on 97.1 FM Talk.
Many times over the years, I have expressed my ignorance when it comes to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. I get it a lot better than I used to because I met a guy by the name of Bitcoin Ben. He has knowledge, passion about crypto that will blow you away. And Bitcoin and this type of currency really is the future. Trump gets it. That's what Ben's going to tell you. There are bills in Congress right now that are addressing the issue of cryptocurrency. But if you're interested in learning more, I certainly was. I learned a lot. I still have a lot to learn. His 7th crypto club, nationwide club, is coming right here to St. Louis. They'll teach you. Ben will teach you. His team will teach you how to buy it, how to safely store it, how to avoid scams. And then you get to connect with other people who have a passion and want to learn more about crypto. So this will be the 7th club nationwide right here in Ben's hometown. I'll keep you posted on all the details. But if you want to find out more, go to the website right now, bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io. I cannot wait to introduce you to him even further. Bitcoin Ben.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Back to Mark Reardon, because someone's got to say it out loud. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wrapping up things here. Joe Beamer in for Mark Reardon. You know, I had a typical millennial moment in the last segment. Ethan texted me something, and I should have been looking at my phone. Instead, I just depend on my watch to buzz, and my watch battery died 3 hours ago because I'm also awful at charging. So, Ethan, I apologize. I did see your text after the segment, but that's 100% my fault.
No worries.
But it's for some reason, you know, these electronics, you have them for a few years, then the battery starts going. You know, it used to be I could charge the watch twice a week and I'd be fine. Now it's if I don't put it on the charger after the gym every night, we're in trouble the next day.
You know, I just got a new phone, and it's the best thing in the well, maybe not the best thing in the world, but it's pretty great when you get the new phone and you go from having to it barely making it through the workday or having to charge it on the way home from work to at the end of the night still having like 50% battery. Those first like 6 months, they're just great. And that's where I'm at right now.
It's the best phone. It's the absolute best phone.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, to go back on something we were talking about an hour ago, the Blues and Sabres play in St. Louis December 29th. Maybe that's the weekend I should come to
New
St.
Year's
Louis.
trip? Huh?
Will anyone be in town?
I will be in town.
All right. Well, maybe I'll make that work. Maybe I can convince the wife that a post-Christmas trip to St. Louis to see the Sabres play. Not that the Sabres are going to be a fun team to watch. I'm just saying that's an excuse to get out there and to see everybody. But with that in mind, it is time for the audio clip of the day.
Stand by. Playback ready. Initiating. Now, the audio cut of the day.
And you know what? I thought with all the seriousness we've covered in the interviews, this is just a ridiculous one. Let's play clip 19 as the cut of the day.
It's just another way to spend my money for the country. Are you considering what, Dory? Anything I do is financed by me, so you're not going to worry. It's contributed. Just like my salary is contributed, but nobody ever mentions that.
True.
Yes. Trump people are the media yelling questions up to Trump on the roof. And, as he's getting called a fascist and an authoritarian, he's actually making permanent changes to the White House with his money, not collecting a paycheck. And they'll still find something wrong with it. But I thought that was a great way to start the day. I walk into work this morning around 10 a.m. And what do I see? Live on Fox, it's Trump yelling down to the media.
Sue, did you see the video of this?
Yes.
It's, oh my gosh. If you haven't seen the video, go and look it up because it's literally him standing on the White House roof and he's yelling out the answers like his hands cupped to his mouth saying, I'm paying with my money. It's so funny. It's so Trump.
Yes.
It's so Trump.
It is. There's so many iconic moments. And I'm telling you, we are getting more memeable stuff in the first few months of this term than we ever got in the first term. And on a more serious note, things are getting done. And he is making some necessary changes to the White House that, both parties will be able to enjoy into the future. So I thought that was a fun clip to end the day on. I will be back here tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, guys. I will be sunburnt and stuffed from fair food. So I will be able to give you guys a report on day one, opening the Erie County Fair here in Erie County, and then coming back to the studio and filling in for Mark Reardon.
Enjoy.
Oh, thank you. I will. And believe me, I'll have, if there's anything the fair gives me, it's a bunch of stories, and I'll have that for you. Always a pleasure to fill in. Always great to work with Sue, with Fred, with Ethan, and looking forward to doing it again tomorrow. You want to follow me, the Joe Beamer, on X, or send me an email, joe.beamer@wben.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
The accident on northbound 270 south of 70 is still there, and only the left lane is getting by. And this, of course, has created a serious jam behind it back to at least Olive. So taking 141, well, 141 has extra volume. Lindbergh is an okay alternate. We've got a little extra volume on 170, but it's not as bad as 270. Westbound 40, still some volume at Clayton Skaker and through Chesterfield Valley, but nothing too terrible. And we are quiet on the bridges downtown. This report is brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they've been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. Windows, siding, kitchens, baths, and outdoor spaces. They deliver quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents. New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is available through Medicaid. And with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912, 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
The smartest way to do your homework is Heckman Lumber.
Warm weather means homework for homeowners, and for 80 years, Hackman Lumber has been a trusted name for home improvement. If your homework means a new deck, turn to the deck experts at Hackman Lumber. Browse the largest inventory of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. Talk with their experts about treated lumber, cedar, TimberTech, Trex, Envision, AZEK, and decorators to find the perfect deck for you. Choose from endless railings, balusters, and LED deck lighting options. And they will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials, guaranteed. Hackman has you covered. Building a new fence or replacing an old one? Hackman Lumber now carries in stock Eastern Red Cedar, the perfect choice for long-lasting, beautiful landscaping. Inventory includes 4x4 and 6x6 posts, dog ear pickets, and 2x4 framing. Homeowners and pros will find everything they need to build it right the first time. Visit Hackman Lumber's newly remodeled stores in St. Peters, Pacific, and Troy, Missouri.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.